Good evening. We're glad you're with us to help us recognize and celebrate the successes of the many Team NNSO members who are making a difference throughout this agency and in the community. I'm Dottie Wicken, the Public Information Officer. We're going to begin with the presentation of colors, so please stand, and then remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and for the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Deputy Van Horn can't be here tonight. He was going to be giving the invocation, so Sheriff Morgan will do that for us.
Join me in prayer. Most gracious and Heavenly Father, we thank you. We come today just to say thank you. Thank you for giving us life. Thank you for giving us the ability to serve. And thank you for giving us a gracious heart. We ask now that you will bless this ceremony. The people that are receiving accolades, we ask that you would bless each and every one of the Newport News Sheriff's Office as they serve this community and go about doing your will. We ask now that you pray for those that are sick and those that are shut in. We ask that you would touch them, raise them up, and let them know that there is care, there is love, and they are part of us. These things we ask in your name, amen.
Amen. You may be seated. 2023 was an exciting year for the Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Morgan has some thoughts about the year that's just passed, and then he'll make some introductions. Sheriff?
Good evening. Oh, come on now. Good evening. There you go. Look, y'all acted all shy. Why? Because we got company, right? You're going to get to meet the company in a minute, you know, and I know you want to be on your best behavior for company, but at the end of the day, wow, 2023. First of all, I want to thank the Honor Guard. There are two people in the Honor Guard that show up every time we call. They're retired. They're retired, but they come back to serve. Give the Honor Guard a hand. You know, 2023 was a turbulent year. We came out of COVID. I thank everyone for everything that you did during COVID. When people were afraid, you showed up and you made it work. We went through a number of turnovers. A lot of folks left, went on, retired, did other things, but you pulled together. You showed your mettle, and for that I thank you. To the family and friends that are here to support you, I thank y'all, because you loan them, all of these employees, to us every day, probably spending more time with us than they spend waking time with you. And We know that's not easy, but thank you. You know, we have Chief Drew is here. I want to recognize him because he may have to step out, but Chief Drew, Chief of Police. You know, I say one team, one fight. And that's what it is, one team, one fight in the city. Up here on the stage, of course, I'm going to introduce our guest a little bit later, but Mayor Levar Stoney from Richmond, Colonel Shonda Whitfield, Major Hubbard, Frederick Hubbard, Major Tracy Hayes, Vice Mayor Bethany, Judge Saunders, of course, and Judge Papil. You know, it's very important, and I tell the folks that are sitting up here on the stage, did I forget someone? Judge Overby, is he hiding out there? Right? He's in witness protection. I can't even see him. Judge Overby, give him a hand. I tell the judges and the council members how important it is for when they show up to you, because much of the work that you do is outside of the public's eye. And sometimes you feel that you don't get the visibility and the credit that you deserve. So to see them here to support you on this day means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to them. I would also be remiss if I did not acknowledge the folks from the Regional Training Academy, and they came out in full force. Would y'all all stand up? Thank you. So without further ado, you know, we try to keep this short so that we can get you in, get you recognized, and give you your flowers, and that you can get on and enjoy the rest of the evening with family and friends. So it is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you our guest speaker. You know, Mayor Stoney is not a stranger to Hampton Roads. Actually, he grew up in this neck of the woods. And it's funny because every time we get together, I always say the band's back together again. We got a lot of history. And when I said to him, I would like for you to come down and say a few words at the promotion and award ceremony, he didn't hesitate. He came down from Richmond, and if you see folks that's looking like Secret Service hanging out on the wall, that's his protection detail, because, you know, he is the only strong mayor in the state of Virginia. And a strong mayor is basically the mayor that does everything. Everyone else basically has a council, city manager type government. But I'm proud of him and the work that he's done. And the fact that he hails from this area also makes it very special. The Honorable Levar Stoney is serving the final 2 years of his second term as the 80th mayor of the city of Richmond. Mayor Stoney was raised in Hampton Roads and was the first in his family to earn a high school diploma and earn a Bachelor's of Science in Public Administration and Public Science from James Madison University. In 2014, as the first African American to serve as the Secretary of the Commonwealth, he led the transformation of Virginia's rights restoration process. restoring civil and voting rights to more than 173,000 returning citizens. And y'all know how I feel about reentry. 95% of them are all coming back. The question now is, how do you want them to come back? Well, he led the effort to ensure that 173 of them came back with the rights to vote. More than any other state in the nation, and more than the previous 7 governors combined. Since his election in 2016, Mayor Stoney has increased investment in public education, rebuilt Richmond's roads, instituted fair, free mass transit, and committed more than $75 million to affordable housing and homelessness. While improving government efficiency, he attracted nearly $1 billion in economic investment and maintains a city AA+ municipal bond. And his economic development officer hails from Hampton Roads as well. So they took the Hampton Roads team up to Richmond. He serves on the advisory board as a member of the U.S. Conference of Mayors and chair of the Children Health and Human Services Committee. Mayor Stoney also serves as president of the Democratic Mayors Association. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm Newport News welcome to my good friend, the mayor of Richmond, Levar Stoney.
Guys, give another round of applause to Sheriff Gabe Morgan one more time. To those who are here with us, to our guests, to our judges, the vice mayor. I see my friend Steve Drews in the house, a former officer of the Richmond Police Department. Proud of you, Steve. Let me begin first with thanking my friend Sheriff Morgan. Sheriff Morgan, your dedication to the Newport News community is admirable and also unmatched. He is correct. The band is back together because some years ago now, I'm going to say, 13 years ago, Sheriff Morgan and I worked to get Mayor McKinley Price elected. I served as the campaign manager, and Sheriff Morgan was one of the top advisors. And it seems like yesterday, Sheriff. Thank you for being a friend. And I can't believe it's been 5 terms. 5 terms. And you can see I'm matching you with my gray hair. Because being mayor of the city of Richmond is like being sheriff for 5 terms. One thing I know about Sheriff Morgan, and it reminds me of Remember the Titans. Remember when Coach Boone says attitude reflects leadership? That's exactly who Sheriff Morgan is. Attitude reflects leadership. So let's give him a round of applause one more time, y'all. As the sheriff said, some of you all may not know this, but I did grow up right here on the peninsula. I grew up in York County, not too far from here. And I was raised here in Hampton Roads by my father and my grandmother. My father, a former felon, a returning citizen, worked as a custodian at York High School. I went to Tab High School, so we had some internal battles back at home. But my father worked very hard to give my brother and I a fair shot at a bright future in life. My father's hands were rugged and callous from the multiple jobs he worked. He worked as a landscaper. He worked in construction. And he did it all to ensure that I get the best shot in life. And because of what he sacrificed from the help of the community I was surrounded by, I was offered the opportunity to succeed, becoming the first in my family to graduate from high school, the first in my family to go to college, and the first in my family to graduate from college. And when I think of the blessings that I have in my life, I'm often reminded of the saying that the Lord will not give you more than you can handle. The Lord will never give you more than you can handle. And I have been challenged with adversity. I've had my ups and downs. I've had my wins and my losses. But I'm reminded that the Lord will not give you more than you can handle. And I wouldn't have had the opportunity to go to college and achieve the goals and dreams I had for myself without a little resilience, a little adversity. And you all know resilience is the ability to bend, but not to break. And I'm blessed because of what others sacrificed for my own well-being, and that allowed me to progress in this life. And in order to create an environment to help our kids succeed, thrive, and be presented with an abundance of opportunities, one of the best things we can do is give them the best in this life, which begins with safety, security, and people they can look up to in this life. And that's exactly what the Newport News Sheriff Department is all about, being the role models in this community. And all of you here today who are a part of the Newport News Sheriff's Office, from the staff to the deputies, help to shape a healthy, safe, and thriving community. And I want to thank you for that because it impacts the next generation, our future. And before I acknowledge the accomplishments, the awards, the promotions, and retirements of many of you who are here tonight, I want to highlight your motto, commitment to making a difference, and the importance of the work that you do. Public safety is the bedrock of a functioning community. It's the bedrock of a thriving community, ensuring that citizens can live their lives free from violence and harm and have the opportunity to thrive. And all of you play a critical role in maintaining public safety, from promoting justice to fostering a sense of security and inclusion within our community. You have answered the call and dedicated your lives to protecting citizens, responding to emergencies, putting yourself in harm's way, and preventing potential threats. You have taken an oath to uphold the laws and ensure fairness, equality, and justice. Without you, the rule of law would be compromised, and our democratic norms wouldn't exist. You have made a promise to be community leaders, to engage, to collaborate, and to foster a safer, more harmonious environment. Lastly, you have committed to treat those who walk through those doors, the doors of your facility, with the dignity they deserve. And so when they leave dignified and better. The work that you all do isn't easy, and the importance of law enforcement cannot be overstated. It's a cornerstone of our community. Now, we are here today to celebrate promotions, outstanding awards, and the retirement of officers and staff from the Newport News Sheriff's Office. To those who have received a promotion for their hard work and dedication to the Newport News Sheriff's Department, I want to say congratulations. Let's give them a round of applause, y'all. Without a doubt, you will face new challenges, new responsibilities, but you are ready for what the future brings. The Sheriff's Department is in good hands with this new generation of leaders that we're about to celebrate this evening. Next, I know you have the Life-Saving Medal. And that's awarded to an employee for saving a human life or for endeavoring to save a human life. To me, there is no greater act of heroism than to save another person's life, particularly risking your life while doing so. I was told some 7 years ago when I started as mayor, sheriff, that as mayor, I'm going to see people at their worst. You're going to hear about people at their worst. And you're going to hear about and see people at their best. It is those in law enforcement and public safety who all the time exhibit seeing people at their best, saving one's life, those who might be in crisis by putting their own life on the line. And at the core, this is one of the main reasons many of you all joined law enforcement, to save lives. Newport News thanks you for your outstanding acts of heroism. The Medal of Valor is awarded to sworn personnel for actions above and beyond the call of duty. This medal is for the best of the best. It exhibits excellence in the Newport News Sheriff's Office, whose actions have shown exceptional courage, extraordinary decisiveness, and presence of mind. You are the leaders in your office, and through your actions, you have shown great merit and virtue to your work and set an example for others to follow. Lastly, I want to acknowledge those who are retiring from the Newport News Sheriff's Office. Let's give them a round of applause. I want to thank you for making a difference and being committed to making a difference in our community. As I close, I know that the work of public service is pretty simple. Work of public service is pretty simple. It is difficult. It is challenging. But the reason you do it is pretty simple. It's because you give a damn. In order to be in law enforcement, in order to put on the badge of being a deputy in the sheriff's office, you have to give a damn. You have to give a damn about those who work with you. You have to give a damn about the city in which you reside and serve. And also you have to give a damn about the people you serve. It's unfortunate nowadays that we have been having more of a difficult time of finding people who give a damn about serving their communities. And that is why the sheriff's office is a model for others to follow, because you give a damn. So with that, let us continue to work together to strengthen the bonds between law enforcement and the communities that they serve, ensuring a safer, more just, and more resilient society today and every other day. I want to thank you for your service, but most importantly, I want to thank you for your sacrifice tonight. Congratulations, and congratulations to the Newport News Sheriff's Office for all the great staff and team you have here in the city of Newport News. Thank you.
You know, maybe it's working, maybe it's not. Hello. Okay. You know, when I asked Mayor Stoney to do this, I understood that he understood the difficulty of delivering services. He deals with homelessness, just like you guys deal with homelessness. He deals with the mental health issues, just like you deal with the mental health issues. The things that are required to run that city are all the same things that you are involved with when those safety nets fail. You're there as a stopper when the safety net fails to stop people from going down the drain, stop people from getting washed away. Mayor, thank you so much for those words. It's just a small token for coming, and I certify it's less than $20. Give him another hand. $50.
And now we're going to go on, start with the promotions in our program. 21 deputies earned promotions in 2023. 4 of them rose to the rank of lieutenant. Lieutenant Payne is the courts commander and made lieutenant in April. She's worked in the jail, booking, and cross-trained in civil enforcement and classification before coming to the Sheriff's Office in 2009. Her specialized training includes property and evidence manager, certifications in FTO, INTOX, CIT, crisis intervention stress management, and VSIN. She's also a general instructor. She holds an associate's degree in applied arts and a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. She's being pinned by her children, Dejan and Desiraya. Lieutenant Cuffey. She's C Rotation Commander in Jail Operations. She joined the Sheriff's Office in December 2010
She brought a busload with her.
and transferred to court soon after that. She was promoted to Master Deputy in 2018 and Corporal in 2019. Cuffey returned to Jail Operations as an Assistant Shift Commander when she made Sergeant in 2021 and became Workforce Work Release Catering Sergeant the next year. In 2023, Cuffey returned to courts and was soon promoted to Lieutenant. Her mother is pinning her tonight. Lieutenant Hurst. He's been with us since November 2014 and made lieutenant in July, working in professional standards. He graduated from Virginia Tech in 2013 with a Bachelor of Science in Sociology with a concentration in crime and deviance. Since arriving at the Sheriff's Office, he's also worked in the jail, court security, and transportation. He's completed many specialized courses to include FBI hostage negotiation, polygraph examiner, and instructor for development threat evaluation. He's pinned tonight by his wife, Sarah. Lieutenant Brown. Her promotion came with a change in responsibilities. From Civil Enforcement Sergeant to Lieutenant in Jail Operations. Arriving in the Sheriff's Office in 2008, she's worked in the jail, courts, transportation, and our inmate reentry program. She holds a bachelor's degree in criminal justice with a minor in psychology. She's committed to excellence in whatever job she holds and supporting her co-workers. She's pinned tonight by her daughter, Amaya. Congratulations, lieutenants. Now to the deputies promoted to sergeant. Sergeant Bailey started with the Newport News Sheriff's Office in 2005. Currently the A rotation sergeant, he moved to jail operations following his April promotion. Prior to that, he was part of the civil enforcement team. He's also been assigned to NCIU and courts during his career. Among his certifications are rifle patrol instructor, firearms instructor, PREA investigator, general instructor, and he's CERT team commander. Pinning Sergeant Bailey is his mother, Gracie Woodson, a retired sergeant from the Western Tidewater Regional Jail. Congratulations. Sergeant Carlson was promoted in April 2023 and is she's currently Assistant Shift Commander on D rotation. She's also worked in civil enforcement and court security and was court runner for 3 years. She has certifications in BLE, Project Lifesaver, Crisis Intervention, Field Training Officer, and General Instructor. Has been with us since 2006, has 4 children and 2 grandchildren. She's being pinned tonight by her husband, our Deputy Carlson. Sergeant Jones is an assistant shift commander on C rotation in the jail. He's been assigned to jail operations since joining us 4 years ago. He's done the work to be a field training officer and general instructor. Looking forward, he wants to pursue firearm instructor certification. He also desires to gain new skills that will prepare him for future leadership roles at the Sheriff's Office. He's pinned tonight by his wife, Rosa. Sergeant Landy has been with us since February 2020 and is working in jail operations. He came to the Sheriff's Office after several years as a correctional officer at the Hampton Roads Regional Jail. He's a certified field training officer and general instructor. He says he wants to grow in his role at the Sheriff's Office and elevate his training and experience to support our mission. He grew up in Chesapeake and is a graduate of Deep Creek High School. Sergeant Landy's our deputy, Meneses, is pinning him tonight. Sergeant Phillips is assigned to the Hampton Roads Criminal Justice Training Academy.
You got to moonwalk. I'm not giving you this until you moonwalk.
Sergeant Phillips is passionate about educating and supporting the next generation of deputy sheriffs and correctional officers. He's instructed more than 750 recruits who have been part of 25 graduation classes at the academy. His father, retired Army Sergeant Abraham Phillips, is pinning him. Sergeant Burkhart. He's joined by his wife, Brandy, who will pin him this evening. Sergeant Burkhart completed the Training Academy's basic law enforcement program in November. With his promotion last month, he's now assistant shift commander on B rotation in the jail. During his 4 years at the Sheriff's Office, he's completed training for INTOX, ECR, IR2 operator, crisis intervention, and he's a field training officer. Sergeant Burkhart grew up in Ohio. He has an associate's degree in applied science. Congratulations, sergeants. 3 deputies made corporal in '23. One of them is here tonight, Corporal Ramos, who was promoted in January. He's part of the civil enforcement team now, but has worked in the jail, booking, and courts during his 7 years here. He's a firearms and defensive tactics instructor and says he's always interested in training opportunities to enhance his career and move up the chain of command. For Master Deputy Kennedy. He was 16 when he decided to pursue a law enforcement career. He spent 8 years in the Army first, but then his path led him to us in 2019. He made Master Deputy in 2023 and recently completed basic law enforcement. Congratulations.
You know, it's one thing to tell you what these deputies do day in and day out. It's another thing for you to see it for yourself. He could easily have been pulled over, but he cared enough in his CIT training and dealing with people in conflict. What was that term you used? He gave a damn. Thank you.
In another case of timing is everything, our chief deputy, hello? In another case, in that case,
Use your projection voice.
In another case of timing is everything, our chief deputy, Colonel Whitfield, was off duty when she went to the aid of a motorcyclist wounded in a drive-by shooting in Hampton. She heard gunshots as vehicles approached her location. The shooting briefly stopped as the car passed her and then started again. The motorcyclist was hit and lost control of his bike, crashing near her. Colonel Whitfield called 911 as she ran to his aid. She began life-saving efforts until Hampton police and medics arrived. Her actions helped save a life that night. Our next award is presented to deputies who saved an inmate. While making security checks in October, Deputy Bates found an inmate on his knees with a sheet around his neck. He called a signal. Sergeant Abdullah arrived and, following protocol, cut the top of the sheet to relieve pressure on his neck. Two of our nurses assessed the man's condition as Captain Vincent and Deputy Beard gave assistance. The inmate was transported to the hospital and later taken for a mental health evaluation. Thanks to the immediate response of these men and women, the man survived. Wow. For their actions, they're awarded the Sheriff's Life-Saving Medal.
As you can see, Bates is still in khakis, right? Hasn't been to the academy yet, right? These folks, all day, every day, they look out for everyone else. Christina's a captain. No, I was just talking about you as y'all was going down. You know, it's ingrained in who we are. You hear the laughter, you hear the applause. It's a family. We appreciate their effort because we care, and it shows in everything that they do every day. Next one, please.
Just 2 days later in the jail, 3 jail operations deputies saved an inmate in medical distress. Deputy Sanders recognized the signs of an altered mental state and realized the man was close to losing consciousness. Lieutenant Woodhouse and Sergeant Sierra Carreno, who is not with us this evening, responded as well. Being aware of possible overdose signs, the sergeant administered Narcan. When the deputy didn't respond, Lieutenant Woodhouse gave a second dose. Within 45 seconds, the inmate started rousing and became alert. He was taken to the hospital for evaluation. The inmate survived thanks to the quick actions of these deputies.
You know, why do we celebrate this? We celebrate this because in the media, what normally happens is when someone dies in custody, there's always a lot of negative press, but you never hear how many people we pull out of the jaws of death. That we put everything on the line because we care. And sometimes unfortunate things happen, but at the end of the day, we celebrate you because we know you don't get your flowers for what you do every day. So thank you.
Our final life-saving award is presented to Lieutenant Summerford. He was on duty in December for PORT, the emergency shelter for those in need of safe and warm places to sleep, when a guest began having medical problems. After calling for EMS, Lieutenant Summerford and a nurse kept watching him. Medics arrived as the man became unresponsive. In assessing him, they indicated the man had a history of drug use, so Lieutenant Summerford administered a dose of Narcan, and the man soon regained consciousness. He left with EMS personnel for further treatment. Lieutenant Summerford was alert and prepared, leading to a positive outcome for a shelter guest.
Training matters. Training matters. You are trained and prepared, and in each of these cases, you use your training to save another. Thank you all.
Now we're going to go off program for just a few moments for Sheriff Morgan to present the Sheriff's Medals. He selected 2 people who've distinguished themselves by meritorious achievement and service. The first recipient has made a huge impact since coming to the Sheriff's Office in 2019. As a civilian running reentry, Tracy Hayes was tasked with overseeing programs and services for justice-involved citizens returning to the community. Now she's Major Tracy Hayes, with the additional role of Operations Bureau Chief, responsible for everyone and everything that goes on inside the city jail. The next recipient can be described as forward-thinking, knowledgeable, and a good salesman. Lieutenant Johnson knows the struggle is real when it comes to recruiting for law enforcement and first responder jobs. He's been part of Team NNSO since 2013 and has consistently been recognized for his professional conduct and rapport with staff and would-be employees. Those are just some of the traits needed for the person tasked with finding qualified applicants to work here.
You know, these 2 awards were given with gratitude from me because I appreciate the body of work that they did. Major Hayes, as you folks, particularly those that are in jail, you see her in there all the time. Boots on the ground, solving issues, solving problems, dealing with the contractors, just making it work. When she was hired on, she wasn't hired on to do that. But she answered the call. and I thank her. Give her a round of applause. This young man, he brought 65 people through the doors last year. And Chief is back there, and the mayor knows how hard it is to recruit people, particularly in this field. We hire 4% of all applicants. He had to go through more than 1,000 applicants to bring 65 folks on board. With the closing of the Hampton Roads Regional Jail, he was in the parking lot as they were getting off work, recruiting at night, to the tune of, when the regional closes, we will be hiring 20 new team members from the regional jail. He is definitely the best recruiter in the nation.
Now we're going to move on to the folks who retired from the Sheriff's Office in 2023. Although 2 of them are actually working with us again, but they're part-time. Those who aren't here tonight are spending time with their family out of town. Our first retiree is Kenneth Lampkins, who left us in February after nearly 25 years. He worked most of his career in jail operations and was assistant jail supervisor. He says he liked getting the job done and has fond memories of working with great people in the jail annex. Now that he's retired, he's enjoying life with his wife Jackie and their dog Nyla. Carolyn Daniels' 25-year career came to a close in March. She treasures the bond she developed with her work family while working in corrections as court bailiff, transportation, civil process, and in records. She also enjoyed serving the community. In retirement, she's traveling and spending quality time with family and friends.
She came from PD, Chief.
Steve Gonzalez was here for a little more than 3 years, and he was recognized as a team player and a hard worker. It wasn't long after his arrival that he was assigned to the laundry division when COVID impacted civilian work schedules. He's also worked in the jail and court services during times with us. He's enjoying the next chapter, retirement. Nelson Augusto Gerena retired in May. He took some time off and decided to return to us part-time. He started his career in February 2008, worked several rotations in the jail, has been a JDR2 bailiff and transportation deputy. Now a part-time deputy in records and classification, he gets to spend more time with his wife because they're finally on the same schedule. Dwight Hopkins retired in September. After 27 years of full-time service, he worked in corrections until 2005 when he was transferred to courts and never left. He says he's enjoying retirement, but has returned to courts part-time. He says, "It looks like I'm back doing what I've always enjoyed." And last, but definitely not least, is Major David Hughes. His career started here in 2010 after 24 years on the police force in Norfolk. As our lieutenant, He served as commander for the Narcotics Criminal Interdiction Unit. A year later, he rose to captain, was promoted to major in 2013, and made the Professional Standards Bureau chief. We said farewell to him in private, but we wanted to publicly thank him for his dedication. We appreciate all of the hard work the retirees put in during their career with us. Our last presentation of the evening is the Medal of Valor Award. We recognize Corporal Blythe and Master Deputy Briggs, who were the first law enforcement officers to arrive at Richneck Elementary on January 6, 2023, for a reported shooting. Not knowing the situation inside the school, they ran to the entrance. As two Newport News police officers joined them at the entrance, they entered the school and were directed to a classroom where a young student with a gun had shot his teacher. Another teacher had control of the student. The gun was on the floor. While Corporal Blythe and the police officer secured the boy and the weapon, Master Deputy Briggs located the wounded teacher in the main office and helped medics who came to assist. The actions of Corporal Blythe and Master Deputy Briggs that day reflect the highest standards and traditions of the Newport News Sheriff's Office.
You know, there are a lot of bad outcomes. But when others are running in the opposite direction, your training kicks in and you do what needs to be done. We appreciate you. You didn't know what was going on other than there were shots fired, you knew it was school, and you did what you had to do, and I appreciate you. Thank you. This community appreciates you.
Our next Medal of Valor recipients are Corporal Gregory Robertson and Master Deputy Briggs. Corporal Robertson was conducting an eviction at an apartment last April. The woman inside was highly agitated, so Robertson decided to call a Signal 1. Master Deputy Briggs responded and ran to the unit. Robertson stated the woman grabbed a kitchen knife and approached him. Briggs heard Corporal Robertson giving commands for the woman to back away, so he pulled his taser, got it ready just in case. Happily, he didn't need to use it. From the doorway, Briggs saw the woman with her arms spread apart and yelling at Corporal Robertson. Robertson was able to calm the woman and got her to follow his commands to put her hands behind her back. She was handcuffed, taken from the apartment, and Master Deputy Briggs took her to jail. Their quick action resolved the situation peacefully and without any injury.
You know, how many times do you hear about bad outcomes? Somebody with a knife, getting shot, losing their life. Their training kicked in. They ultimately talked it down. Good outcome for the city, and it reflects well on that team. Again, we thank you.
Now Sheriff Morgan will lead the oath and have some final words, and then he'll give the benediction, and when he gives the benediction, please stand.
You know, we do a reaffirmation of our oath every time we do this. And we do it so that we understand what we're doing and what we're doing it for. So all of the employees of the Newport News Sheriff's Office, would you please stand and raise your right hand? and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all duties incumbent upon me as a deputy sheriff for the city of Newport News, according to the best of my ability. So help me God. Thank you. You know, we usually try to stay within an hour, and we're right there. So I'm not going to take too much of your time in closing comments. I'm just going to tell you that I'm proud to be your coach. You are truly remarkable individuals who give selflessly to this community. And I'm honored to be there with you. Thank you, each and every one of you, whether you just got promoted or whether we recognize you for what you do. Your labor is not in vain, and it's not outside of the public's eye. Thank you so much. Thank you to my good friend, Mayor Levar Stoney. Thank you for traveling down here and congratulating them and showing that you care. To the judges and to the vice mayor, it warms my heart that you're here, and I know it warms their heart so that you can get a glimpse of some of what they do every day. Thank you for being here. Give them a hand. So before I give you a benediction, just want to let you know when we conclude from here, there's refreshments upstairs, and I hope everyone will come upstairs and participate and take a time to congratulate one another for a job well done. So if you would stand for the benediction. Father God, here we are again, imperfect beings, asking for your guidance. Thanking you for the celebration of those that were celebrated here today. Thanking you for the protection that you put around each and every one of the staff that goes forth and do your work. And as we leave from this place, we continue to pray your covenant, your guidance, and that you would keep us in the ark of your safety and bring us back to our families safely. These things we ask in your name. Amen. This concludes our ceremony.